CNN, you've frequented the airwaves, excludes Black media outlets from the 2024 presidential debate. Now, you know I have to know what's going on with this one.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
For Atlanta Black Star and News One, CNN granted media credentials to tonight's presidential debate to about 600 national and international outlets. But surely this is an oversight. None of them are Black owned. This information comes from a source close to the credentialing process. Somebody's blowing the whistle on this, Senator. And I need to know more. Okay, we got to keep it real. Despite hosting the debate within 3 miles of Black-owned and Black-led media outlets in Atlanta, CNN did not extend invitation to the event to any locally based publications. Thursday's debate will take place at CNN Studios in Midtown Atlanta. It's within jogging distance of the offices of my friends at the Atlanta Voice and our friends at Atlanta Black Star, 2 Black publications based in the same city. However, neither publication received a press release or any other communication regarding media access for the debate that could help determine the outcome of this year's presidential election. And a Black Star doing the reporting, that is, they are subject of this reporting too. So, Atlanta Voice editor-in-chief Donnell Suggs said in a phone interview, "It was disrespectful. I thought it was very tacky not to invite the Black newspaper. I thought that was just cheap and typical of CNN." Suggs finds it impertinent that CNN did not consider Atlanta Voice for an invite or send any correspondence about the event to the Black publication, stating, "CNN never reached out to me and said, hey, June 7, you guys better have this thing in. Had they told me that, we would have done that, right? So, right, it's messed up." According to an email from CNN, there was a June 7 deadline for members of the media to request credentials to attend and cover the event. But Atlanta Voice and Atlanta Black Star were unaware of the deadline until editors from both publications individually reached out to a CNN rep in the past week who stated that the mainstream media outlet is unable to accommodate any additional credential requests past the deadline. A scan of Atlanta Black Star's email boxes showed 0 emails from CNN or a representative regarding the debate. Follow-up email to Dylan Geerlings of CNN seeking clarification of the deadline and how Atlanta Black Star would be aware of it. Not answered. Editors from Ebony telling Atlanta Black Star they also sent a request but never received a response. This is getting worse. Representatives from Joe Biden's campaign have also lobbied for Black publications to attend. Given the impact of Black voters in the election, barriers that Black publications face, Black-owned media outlets struggle with significantly lower financial resources than mainstream media, leading to staffing, other disparities, constraining those platforms' growth, visibility. CNN has now offered to add Atlanta Black Star, Atlanta Voice to its distribution list for transcripts and photos from the debate. My blood pressure is going up, and I'm going to get to you, Senator. There's about 5 things that are sending me over the edge, but I'm going to keep going. Almost there. Biden campaign will host a press briefing for Black publications ahead of the debate on Thursday. News One noted that journalist Roland Martin on Wednesday first brought attention to the issue by posting on social media that CNN has not issued any credentials for tomorrow night's debate to any Black-owned media outlets. He specifically asked Emily Kuhn, CNN's senior vice president of public relations, why every Black newspaper in Atlanta was denied credentials, calling it both despicable and pathetic. Hey, can you explain to me why CNN has not issued any credentials for tomorrow night's debate to any Black-owned media outlets? I say it's a good question, Mr. Martin. It's a damn good question. Congressional, Senator, you're really going to have to talk me off the ledge on this one, but I'm going to keep going. We're almost there. And then I need you to just take the wheel. You need to take the wheel on this one. Congressional Black Caucus Chairman Rep. Gregory Meeks released a statement Wednesday afternoon condemning CNN, demanding they immediately approve credentials for at least 10 Black-owned publications, calling the move an egregious oversight, totally unacceptable. Meeks urged CNN to immediately credential at least 10 Black-owned media outlets. Now, he called the current exclusion a deliberate offense to Black Americans. He emphasized the critical role of Black-owned media, providing trusted information, their importance in democracy. It's sad, you got to remind people of this. On Friday, the National Association of Black Journalists appealed to CNN to make an exception in this case. No matter the reason, the local Black press was not approved. Thank you. In regard to guidelines, we are asking CNN to create space to ensure fair and balanced coverage so that all citizens have access to real-time content from the debate. That statement from NABJ. Eric Ward, Executive Vice President of Race Forward, warned in a News One op-ed that the lack of Black media representatives erodes Black communities' trust in mainstream media. He noted Black America has less access to journalism that represents their concerns, making them more vulnerable to online disinformation and misinformation. Well said. The reports about CNN refusing to credential Black media at the presidential debate come months after the Pew Research Center found nearly 25% of Black Americans said they get their news from Black media in particular. These outlets, which have a long history in the United States, are defined as those created by Black people and focused on providing news and information specifically to Black audiences. Another 40% of Black adults say they sometimes get news from such outlets. Senator, when I first started chronicling the details on this one, I was planning on coming to you by saying it's an oversight, but you got to make it right. Now I moonwalk back from that. That's not where I'm at, Senator. And I think you know where I'm at. As an organization, I don't care what the deadline is. I wouldn't let this stand. We're supposed to be fair. We're supposed to have an interest in significant coverage. This is why you and I have talked about the need, the void. Commend Roland Martin, others for stepping in. I don't know what the rules are. Perhaps you do. You've been a candidate. You've won political office. You stood alongside Senator Bernie Sanders, who's been in these debates. I don't know if CNN can waive the deadline, but I hear CNN. I have not heard the debate commission involved in this. So I assume that CNN can say, wait, we're going to make this right. Make it make sense, please, Senator.
Oh my God, Sharon, I cannot, and I share your outrage. For full disclosure to our viewers, at once upon a time, I did work for CNN as a political commentator. I don't work there anymore, but I'm often called upon for my political views, especially those representing the progressive side of the Democratic ledger. Put that out there. I am stunned, and big ups to Brother Roland Martin for bringing this to the light. And I'm glad that others are speaking up and speaking out. I agree with you, Sharon Reed. I don't understand now that they do know, I don't know whose fault this is, but the people at the tip top of CNN, they have the power and the authority to make this right. It's not enough to say to Black media, oh, we'll get you pictures and transcripts after the fact. If the power is totally in their hands, half in their hands, any percentage in their hands, they should make this right by sending invitations and making space for Black media outlet, especially those in Atlanta. I mean, how do you go to Atlanta and do not invite Black media?
Hey.
I got to quote Brother Andrew Yang here, Sharon. The math ain't math in here. I think you laid out that it was reported that 600 media outlets, both national and international. So let me get this straight. You can invite people who are not even in the United States of America, but the good old fashioned homegrown Black folks who run media outlets did not get an invitation. Again, mistake made. We don't know who made it. We don't know why it was made. I'm not trying to attribute malice to this, even though it's getting harder and harder not to. However, there is a way to fix this, and CNN should fix it. Furthermore, I think both presidential candidates, I'm glad to see that President Biden's campaign reached out and said, hey, do something about it. President Trump's campaign should do the same if they haven't. But going back to the Biden campaign, Sharon, I believe that they should say, you know what? If you don't make this right, we just not gonna do it. This gone. Carrot and do that. Since they on the Black vote, they just gonna do that.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get it right. Oui, si. The first was German for yes. Okay. French. yes, and in Espanol. See, yes. Okay, you're right. You and I don't want to hear, well, they should have reached out for that. You have been given the privilege of this debate. It's not yours. You're the conduit. By the way, CNN doesn't own the airwaves, and they're just spreading it around to the networks. This is CNN's turn, and this cannot stand. It cannot stand. I think I too will take the high road. And I actually believe what you said. We can't even attribute this. I attribute it to tone deafness and a little bit of ignorance with whoever got the email and doesn't understand, didn't say, whoa, we got to fix this. Hey, boss. Hey, somebody. Instead they said, pass the deadline. So there's a tone deafness, a daftness, and perhaps a lack of diversity issue behind the scenes. People say, oh, there's Black people working at CNN. I didn't ask you for the number and the count. Are they empowered? Are they in charge? Are they meeting parts of the discussion? That's diversity too. This is something that is just, this cannot stand. And you're right. I saw an ignorant clip on social media where Donald Trump called into, he didn't even go get a fade. He called into this barbershop with Byron. With Byron, I can't, okay? You should have stayed off Joy Reid show too. You just should have stayed off that after you made your comments about Jim Crow era. But he was in the center with some Black people. I'll avoid the T word surrounding him, and Donald Trump talking about how, once again, the mugshot, Blacks, Hispanics, they love me. Well, you're ignorant, sir. But I think the senator's right, not just the Biden campaign, but you too. And I was going there with, I would refuse. The only thing that stopped me was Donald Trump would just love that. He would just love that. But CNN, you better make it right. I'll give you the last word, Tim.
Absolutely, Sharon Reed. And I mean, you gotta, they have the power. Like both campaigns have the power to say to CNN, this is not right, make it right immediately, or we're just gonna call this thing out. We'll just go in the streets and have a debate. They could actually do that. That is how you leverage real power. And your point about however it happened. And yes, you have to have Black people in real positions of power where they don't have to cower and they don't have to be afraid, because you need people to bring different viewpoints. So is this today? What will it be tomorrow? And diversity is not just phenotype diversity. We also need diversity of experience. Is there anybody in there that has requisite experience as well? My last point to your point, Sharon, about, okay, I want to give CNN the benefit of the doubt. I really do. I mean, I have colleagues there who had they didn't make these decisions. My colleagues are not the higher ups. My colleagues are the people in the, the anchor type. But at this point, one of my mentors once said, Fannie M. Lewis, and I know you know exactly who she is, Sharon Reed. She's in the ancestral plane. But she used to say, councilwoman, she used to say, it doesn't matter whether you killed me by accident or on purpose. Dead is dead.
Dead is dead.
And the fact that we got to beg the people who make these decisions at CNN to see not only the error of their ways, but to seek to correct it. That's the part that's very troubling to me, Sharon Reed.
And you're right, because you know and I know, I do have an issue with, second set of eyes, a third in these news organizations there for a reason, right? So that it's the last line of defense to the viewer. I always took that very seriously in my role. I'm the last line of defense to the viewer. But people can make mistakes. They're only human, right? But it's the response to it. That's what you said, Miss Lewis said. I'm still dead. I'm still dead. Okay, there's slow singing and flower bringing. I'm gone. It's the response. You didn't see how serious this is. Roland had to get to crowing. Other people, Atlanta Black Star, Atlanta Voice, who is one of the most storied, the history of this publication. I've done some good work for them. They're not second-class citizens. I'm appalled. I'm going to call my friend Hiram Jackson over at Real Times Media, who has the rights to almost all of the Black papers in the country. Did you get a credential? He would have told me. This is not okay. You don't respect this and pretend. You have to respect this. This is why we need Black media. And don't you dare ask Black people why. This is why. This is why, Senator. I'm just appalled. We're going to revisit this. Better make it right. By the time you hit the airwaves to give your expert commentary for this debate, okay, and we still don't know if anybody was getting drug tests, which is crazy. Did anybody get a Diet Coke test? There's somebody, which one of the candidates was drinking 12 a day. But by the time this thing goes on, it better be corrected. It better be corrected. Kudos for everybody who spoke up. CNN needs to try to woo you back and get you to consult on some of the decisions. They got to ask you some questions here that would seem obvious, but they need you.